Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mind Your Mental. Just a reminder that this podcast is not meant to be a substitute for a relationship with a licensed mental health professional. I know they are hard to find, and I get that. I have a bunch of resources on my website if you need them, but I am not your clinician. I am a psychologist, but I am not your psychologist. So if you need any specific help, please look for the help of a licensed mental health professional. Learn all you can learn from the podcast. Enjoy the episode.
Yes, people don't. The older I get, the more I'm learning, like, people don't want to change. And it's like, y'all, life is going to change around you. So you might have to upgrade your language with some new things. You might have to open your mind to some new, like, you can still, or you should at least think about it. You'd be like, I don't know how I feel about this thing yet. So let me just like research it and see, and like not listen to everybody else's opinion around it. But I feel like people don't want to do that. That's a little bit too much labor. So they're like, let me just say I hate this new thing. I don't like it.
Or even just say, I don't know. I think people need to normalize, like, I don't know enough about this to talk about it from an objective lens. So I got to research this and come back. Like, I think too many people put value into being right or having the answers. And I think one of the things that makes me more comfortable is I'm okay saying I was wrong or I don't know. Because it's like,
I'm okay saying I was wrong. This wasn't the best idea. Now we're going to elevate this idea. Like, literally, you know, going back to the live show, like after each show, we sit down, you know, my team of like, literally like one girl over here, one guy over here. We sit down and we're like, let's go through every single, you know, let's run the whole show back and see what we can tighten, what we could ditch. Where were we over time? Where was it perfect time? Like, you have to do that stuff because you want it. You want whatever you create to be better than the last thing. And so I think, and then I asked people who, like, I had a full session yesterday with this great production company about, because they came to the show. I was like, tell me top to bottom your experience as an audience member. Because I maybe didn't share this, but I was a yoga teacher at one point in
I used
Chicago.
to follow your yoga. Your yoga.
Yeah.
Because you would do it digitally too during the pandemic. Girl, I told you I'm a fan.
Listen, I still do my yoga. I did a yoga class last weekend as a student. I'm going to get more acclimated to the Black wellness scene here, of course, because I love my yoga. I just been cheating on yoga with the gym. But I just remember, like, from when I was a yoga teacher, there was always either students or teachers in your class, like, constantly telling you how to make it better or whatever. And we were always taught as teachers, you will never be able to take your own class. So you have to ask people what their experience was. Like, even if you recorded your voice and did it back, you already know what's coming next. So it's going to be a different experience. So you have to always ask people who are experiencing you, how was the experience? Now, do I think the comment section can sometimes be a little too emboldened to share what their experience was of the art? Sure. But if the general consensus is like, no, this is funny, we loved it, like then you're on the right track. But I think a lot of people just like to think like, nope, my opinion is the opinion. There's no questioning me. And that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I can't wait till when I get to actually catch a show because I'm coming to LA, but your show was the 21st, right? So I already missed the LA show.
When are you coming here?
Next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. Okay. Send me those dates just so I can, of course I'm leaving town next Thursday.
What, Tuesday or Thursday? Yeah, but I'm going to be there next Wednesday. Okay, Tell me more about the show because every time I see like a promo for it or like when you guys do the recap, I see people, first of all, everyone's laughing, but I see like people holding up signs and it looks like one has Ben's face and one has your face. Last time I saw you step in because you're a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. I saw, wow, your daughter get on the mic. Like what is this show about? Because it just seems like every single episode, I love that it doesn't seem cookie cutter. It seems like every single episode is a vibe and you guys are like,
we're changing
telling
it each
stories.
Time.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm still a big sketch improv comedy girl at heart. So our live show reads like a variety show. And I want to manifest a show for you later when you tour this podcast, because this podcast should feel like a therapy session. Like whatever you are good at, that's what the show experience should be. So like the set design, it looks like our house. It's got throw pillows and plants and toys askew. And it's just kind of like, when I was like writing the initial pitch for it, I was like, what would a night in my home feel like? There would probably be games. There would probably be drinks. There might be one performance or so, because Ben plays guitar. Like, I love inviting people over. Then we do karaoke. So we're like, let's put some singing in there. So we wanted it to just feel like, because I go to a lot of live shows. I go to live stand-up shows, sketch shows, comedy shows. I've been to a couple of live podcast shows, and I have watched two people on stage with microphones just talking the whole time so many times. And I was like, and while it's great to see that, it's like, let's take advantage of the fact that there are people here. Like, they can bear witness to the BS. Like, they can bear witness to the dynamic, and now they can input who they agree with, or who, whatever.
Oh, so that's to show who they agree with. If they're saying so.
Well, there's a couple of others I don't want to spoil, but like there's a couple of like, one of the big through lines, especially we're incorporating in future shows, is like, if you're agreeing with Amber on this argument, like, I need to see those am signs go up, or those Ben signs go up, or whatever. So it's a nice, it's like, welcome to our home, and then you would be, a part of like whose argument is stronger.
I love that, because I like that it's not the typical show, and you're also playing to your strengths, because like, your stuff is hilarious. There's never a time where I'm not gonna either I'm laughing at like you talking to your dad about like, why do you save what does he save? What do they call
obituaries?
Why do you save obituaries? So either we laughing about that, or it'll even be a conversation about Ben invalidating you about your underwear choice. Yes. And everyone just being like, Ben is wrong. You are wrong here.
Yes.
Or even while just being upset and still following an appropriate routine. She over here crying while she got to leave the museum, but she was just like, no, I got it. They asked if she needed help closing the stroller, and she was like, I got it.
It's the drama. Now notice, I'll send you the video so you can maybe put in your episode notes, but I want everybody to look very intentionally at that video, and the question of the day is, did you see a tear fall from that?
Oh, I did not see not one tear. And let me tell you something, as a mom, because I know when my child is crying, and I just know I can be in a different room and I'm like, there's no tears. Like, I can hear the sound, but there's no tears.
Yes.
I was looking at her and I was like,
cry.
I was like, there's not a tear on your face. Wow.
Not a single.
And she even said goodbye. She said goodbye.
And when I'm talking, the minute we hit the parking deck, she was asleep. Yeah. So, but I'm not gonna, like, I've been learning more from you and a couple of other conscious, like, parent mental health educators and providers. Like, just don't be afraid of a tantrum. Like,
you can't
like, it's not the big bad. Like, you gotta let them get it out there, because I need attention every now and then. I'll come home and I'm like, I just got to rant about this horrible meeting that I had with this manager that rejected me. Give me 2 seconds to like just scream to the gods, and then I will be like, that is how I'm regulating and de-escalating myself.
Exactly.
And so to watch her do that, I'm just like, you have to regulate yourself, because it's so frustrating when you pitch I'm a big creative, so I'm constantly pitching ideas for shows, ideas that I have for my brand. And when you hear somebody be like, you're just not ready yet, you're kind of like, but like, I need you to just see this vision. At least tell me you see this vision in your head. Yeah. And sometimes they don't even give you that, because I'll take you're just not ready yet. But tell me you see this, like, in your mind's eye. Like, if I crank you just inspired me to do a plant singing video tonight. If I keep this up, will I one day have a line of indoor plants at Target? Like, tell me you see this a little bit. Like, that's what I'll try to pitch to people, and they're kind of like, I don't know. And I'm like, where's your vision?
Where is your vision? I gotta tell you, because the one thing I love, even from, like, if you guys are watching the video, your nails, for goodness sake, like, even just from your nails,
thank you.
Like, you're a true creative. I struggle with that aspect of just being like, you not seeing my vision. I typically tell people, like, when I get told, like, what do you do when people disagree with you on, like, something, a point you're trying to prove or stuff like that, or if they say no to you, I said, I typically just provide more information, because there's no way there could be a project that I genuinely believe in. The only way you say no is if I'm not explaining it well. Because
I'm not explaining it well.
It's amazing. So the only way you're telling me no It's because, I didn't explain this well. My bad.
Or I'll be so like, show me which part won't work. Show me which part, because there's no way that all of this won't work.
It's not possible. Because I've thought about this meticulously. Yes. There's no way the answer is no, unless, I'm sorry, you need an extra 30 minutes of explanation. I apologize. Let me clear my calendar. Because you can't say no.
You can like restructure it, which is why I love inviting people to the live shows, especially like some industry people, because they're really good at being like I like a variety show because I like someone coming to that show and saying, this girl's gonna have a Netflix special one day. Like I just saw 5 minutes of what could be possible. So even like the conversation I had with the people the other day, I was like, show me where to tighten and whatever, but they're like, we're excited to do this because we've already seen a proof of concept. Like, you're doing it this way and it's already selling. So if we just fine tune it, like, let's just think about like the long term. And I used to get a little bit scared about, we're going to try to like start planning for baby number 2. And then I'm like, well, how are we going to record the podcast? And I'm just like, no, there's a world where people would love an at-home episode or there have been times where I've struggled with a podcast studio. I'm like, people would actually love an episode from my literal closet. Like,
yeah, because we just love you and the way you break stuff down and the way that
Ben was messing up a couple of the guitar chords in this last show. God bless him. It was the end of the show. He did very well, but he was messing up a couple of guitar chords near the end. And I remember thinking, like, is there a world where when he messes up the next time, I can just be like, get it together? Like, just snap out of it and give a full Joe Jackson moment there.
Yeah.
Because
take your shoe off at everything.
My most viral videos are almost videos where I've made mistakes, where I've left a sex toy up in the background. Like, I'm like, oh, this is why this might be going viral. Like, you know what I'm saying? So there's so much beauty in the mistakes, but if I don't start, I can't make the mistakes.
Man, I'm going to name this one Beauty in the Mistakes, because I also love the fact that you're not afraid of feedback and that you actually go out and go to get the feedback because you understand the utility in that. And I think that's something that a lot of people, I think, fear, but I think that goes hand in hand with like, you got to be right all the time, or perfection gets in the way of you starting in the first place. I love that you incorporate feedback into everything, because I love your stuff. I very much, I want to be at it. How many more live shows do you have left?
We have none planned right now, but we do them.
Oh, you're all done.
We're not all done, but I just don't know what the next date is. And that's okay too. Like, my agent's still trying to book Chicago because, we lived in Chicago for years. So they're kind of trying to find a bigger venue for Chicago. But even that, like, the tour doesn't have to be like every 2 weeks. Like, for my life, like, you got 2 kids. For my life right now, us touring this show every other month is like just what the doctor ordered.
It's perfect.
So I'm not sure what city we're going to be in next, but of course, the minute it's announced, like, I will be sharing. But yeah, I love feedback. Let my mama tell it I don't like feedback, but I explain to my mama
the way she probably
I like feedback from people who have done this before and they know how to execute the vision. I don't like when people who have never done this before are just giving me a bunch of tasks and then I have extra tasks to do. Like, I like when somebody's like, I've been working as a production company manager for X amount of years. Let me give you feedback. It's hard for me to take feedback from the woman at the church that came to my show, because the feedback is, you made too many sex jokes for me. Like, for me, that's not feedback. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
that's an opinion.
That's an opinion. Like, is my personality the feedback? Then, or maybe the feedback there is like, maybe I need to do a better job of messaging that the show is not so family friendly. Like maybe that's the feedback, but I don't like the feedback
for it, though. You have to dig for you have to dig for that. Like, you're like, can I get something from this? That's not the same thing.
Yeah, like, the feedback can't be like, I don't like the whole interracial couple thing. It's like, well, I mean, I really ain't got it for you, fam. Like, I literally married him. Like he's not a paid actor. Like, he's an actor, but he ain't paid.
Can you please stop discussing, your life? Like, I didn't come here for that. Did you not?
Right. Yeah. Or or even I feel like the improviser in me can extrapolate. I'm like, okay, so what you're wanting is a few more solo content videos. Got it. Like I can still probably find a little bit of info in that, but sometimes people think their feedback is it's not constructive.
Yeah.
So I like constructive feedback, I'll say.
Hey everyone, just a reminder that Mind Your Mental is not just a podcast, it is also a amazing community, if I do say so myself. It's phenomenal. I mean, you get more access to me. What more could you want in this life? So if you want to join the community, if you're not already on the community, go to my social media. My social media is the same, Raquel Martin PhD, and DM me the word community so you can get details on joining this amazing flipping community. You get more access to me, y'all. Like, I'm a delight. All right. Hope to see you there.